All right, all right. We are back in Belmar at the Grit Won't Quit podcast studio. We have Ed, a very special guest on from the AUSA group. I met Ed through Jeremy at 3C Networking, and we thought that Ed would be a great guest. Ed, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
It was great that I got to meet you over at Adventures Crossing with Jeremy a few months back, and he can't say enough good things about you. So when he and I were chatting, we talked about the podcast for you and getting you on here to talk about all the great work you're doing, all the things that you have coming up this year, and how more people can get involved. So
Terrific.
let's dig right into it. How long have you been involved?
Well, I've been a member of the Association of the U.S. Army in various chapters for many years, but specifically with our Monmouth Chapter, I became the president about 3 years ago.
How do you like being the president?
Well, I do like it. There are days when it's challenging, but overall it's been a great opportunity. I've met so many new people like yourself and like Jeremy and hundreds of others.
How did you come across Jeremy, or how did you guys connect?
We were paired up in a golf outing
Okay.
a year or so ago, supporting the Monmouth Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Is he a good golfer?
Nah, he's terrible. No,
Jeremy, shout out to your golfing skills here.
No, actually, we just hit it off.
Yeah.
And since then, he's just been a great supporter for us.
I met Jeremy. He was recommended to me from a podcast guest, Albie. Shout out to Albie here today. And he goes, "Oh, you got to meet this guy Jeremy who has this networking event." And he's just so he's so positive, upbeat. He wants to connect people. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
He really just does. He's just a good person.
And his 3C Foundation
great
initiative is just tremendous.
So they're doing great things too. So now you've been the president for 3 years. Now, what does that entail? Like, what is your responsibility to be the president of this organization?
Yeah. So again, we are a 100% volunteer
So
organization.
you're a good guy. You're part of the good guy club too.
We're a 501c3. We're part of the overall association of the U.S. Army, which has over 1.2 million members worldwide and over 120 chapters. So I'm one
You're one of 120.
of 120 chapters. And our role is to provide unique support to soldiers, to veterans of all services, and to their family members in the greater Monmouth County region. And so we raise money in order to be able to provide those services and have programs that support those groups. My organization, I have a board of directors of about 20 people, and that's really the core of our organization. So they work with me almost on a daily basis, again, to prepare and plan and execute these programs. I have a few hundred members, but many of them are members in name only. But I also have close to 50 so-called community partners, and these are local business, a few large-scale defense contractors, but mostly they're local small businesses or chambers of commerce or other organizations who like what we do and have decided to get involved in a more formal way as a community partner. And so, my job is to oversee the planning and execution of our programs, and also continue to reach out in the community
And find new partners.
Find new partners. Make sure we're retaining the ones we have.
So just a quick, Monmouth County business owners, as you're watching this program, if this is of interest to you, Ed is looking for more community partners that can help him. And what are some of the responsibilities of a community partner?
Well, community partners, they join. There's a membership dues.
You're 100% volunteer. You need those membership dues to come in.
Yeah. So on the one hand, how does it benefit them? They can become known throughout the community as someone who is supportive of the Army, the military in general, and our veterans. They get some free advertising on our website and social media, and they get involved in our activities.
So
what
what
are
are
their
some of the
responsibility? There's really no responsibility. It's just that we would look at them to try to support us throughout the year, if not through financial donations or sponsorships, at least through maybe volunteering to help with one of our program events, or just participating. We always need attendance as well.
So what are some of the events that you guys do so that people that are interested in getting involved can learn more about what you do?
Okay. The first thing I'd like to talk about, it's really not an event, but it's one of our main programs. It's our service dog program. So this is where we purchase puppies. We have them trained as service dogs. We identify a local veteran or the spouse of a local veteran or a child with special needs who would benefit from a service dog. We pair them together. They go to training for a certain period of time, and then once they finish the training and graduate, we hand off the puppy to the veteran or spouse, etc., totally free of charge.
And a service dog is expensive for the training.
Yeah, so end to end, from the purchase of the puppy through all of that training, can cost between $20,000 and $25,000 for one parent.
And how long is the training?
Well, first of all, the puppy gets trained itself for a period of time, 6 months or so. And then when we identify the veteran, they go to training together once or twice a week. And that could vary depending on the specific, precise needs of that veteran, how long it takes to really get it to the point where that service dog can meet the precise needs of that veteran. So
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's amazing to see what these dogs can do.
How many dogs have you done?
We've done 8. We have 2 puppies in training right now.
All right.
2 standard poodles. We have 1 veteran that's going through the application process right now, which is pretty simple. We tried to cut through all of the normal bureaucratic red tape that prevents things from happening. So we have like a 1-page form to apply, and then they go through a couple of interviews to make sure that it'll be a good match. And so we have 1 puppy still available. And so one of the things I would ask for is if anybody out there knows of a veteran or a spouse of a veteran or a child of a veteran in the local area who might need a service dog, let us know, and we'll make it happen for free.
That is so cool. I heard about service dogs years ago, and I learned about it, how much it costs because of all the training. But it's great to see that you've done 8.
So we proclaimed this year the Year of the Service Dog, and set a goal of raising $25,000 to support a new pairing after these 2 that I was just talking about. And we're well on our way to getting there, I have to admit. We're through a couple of events we had and a very generous donation by one of our sponsors. We're at about $15,000 already this year, so we're looking forward to meeting that goal.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's a great program.
And now some of the other things, like you have something.
So what's coming up? So next Thursday, June 12th, we will be celebrating the Army's 250th birthday. The Army is 1 year older than the nation. It was formed by the Continental Congress on June the 14th in 1775.
All right.
And so we're celebrating the 250th birthday. We'll be at the American Hotel in Freehold on Thursday evening, the 12th. We have a celebratory birthday cake, special birthday cake being made for the Army. The youngest and the oldest soldier present will, with a ceremonial saber, will cut the cake. So that's good.
That's cool.
But maybe more important that night, we used that evening as the venue to award our annual Junior ROTC scholarships. So we'll be awarding $5,000 in scholarships Thursday evening to local graduating high school students who have been in their school's Junior ROTC program.
Great.
We'll also be providing medals to undergraduate students who are in their junior ROTC programs. And separately, we'll be recognizing the local Army Recruiter of the Year. One of the things we do, as I said, is support soldiers, and we support our local recruiters. We just feel it's important. The Army has to recruit 60,000 or so new members each year to keep the ranks filled, and our local recruiting battalion is doing their part to try to make that happen. So we like to support them. But anyway, that's the next thing coming up. In September, we'll be supporting the New Jersey Run for the Fallen. That's not our initiative, but we support them. So what happens here is a cadre of troops run from Cape May to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Homedale. Not all at once. They run a few miles at a time, and they stop along the way at a few hundred pre-designated markers. Each one honors a New Jersey fallen hero. So what we do each year is we reach out to that organization. We find a local Gold Star family of a New Jersey fallen hero, and we will present that family with a special honor and remember flag in honor of their sacrifice and their child's sacrifice. So we'll be doing that. It's the last week in September. Very moving event. And again, it ends up at the Great Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Homedale with a nice closing ceremony. So we'll be doing that in September. In November, we honor our veterans with our annual Veterans Day luncheon. That'll be at the Sheraton Hotel in Eatontown on November 6th.
All local events for our Monmouth County listeners here.
Yeah, exactly. And so what do we do there? There are over 30,000 veterans in Monmouth County alone.
Wow. Okay.
So we can't honor all of them.
Yep.
We're not that big of an organization. I don't have that big of a pocketbook. So what we try to do is get a specific group of veterans to honor at our annual luncheon. And I guess I started this three years ago, and so 3 years ago we honored World War II veterans. All right, now it's not easy finding World War II veterans. I spent a lot of time scouring the countryside, but we found 10.
Okay.
And we had it was just a great event, and we got letters from Governor Murphy for them. Proclamations from the New Jersey State Legislature, certificates of achievement from the Monmouth County Commissioners, and each one of them received a handmade Quilt of Valor from the Quilt of Valor Association.
That's awesome.
I gave each of them a minute or two if they'd like to say a word. Now, these guys are closing in on 100.
Yep.
Well, one of them was 101.
Did they chat? Did they get up there?
And every single one of them was like right on the money. They had just great things to say, and it brought a tear.
Yep.
It was really terrific. So the following year, we honored Korean War veterans. Last year, we honored Purple Heart recipients.
Okay.
And this year, we're going to be honoring Special Forces and Green Beret veterans at our annual luncheon. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be great. That's another great event.
That's great.
And then the first Saturday in December, this year, December 6th, is always our signature event of the year, our Gingerbread Ball. I'll tell you why it's named Gingerbread, but all of the this is a black tie, big deal event, and all of the proceeds support the Fisher House Foundation.
Okay.
Okay, so the Fisher House Foundation builds comfort homes like Ronald McDonald houses, but they build them adjacent to major military or veteran medical facilities throughout the country.
Sure.
And the idea is that family members of service members or veterans who are hospitalized there, these family members can be flown in and stay at these comfort homes for free to be nearby their loved one and provide moral support as they recuperate from their injury. So this is something that no other chapter in AUSA does. We're pretty unique in that regard, and it was started by one of our longtime board members, Kit Roche, who's just terrific. She's been she really is the glue that's held the organization together for the last 20 or 30 years, especially during that time frame I was speaking about earlier when we lost all of Fort Monmouth. But in any event, it was her idea, along with one or two other people, about 20, 25 years ago, to start supporting the Fisher House. And we've been doing it ever since.
Sure.
Not quite on the scale that we used to be able to do when Fort Monmouth was around, but we raised $40,000 last year. And over the course of the last 20 to 25 years, we've raised $2.5 million.
Wow,
for the Fisher
fantastic.
House. So they like us.
It's a big deal.
They like us, and it's a big deal for our soldiers, the family members of our soldiers and veterans, both locally and across the country.
Makes a whole lot of sense. Well, potentially that Fort Monmouth might come back to help you with some of your fundraising efforts.
Well,
We have a big player coming into town.
yeah. So, so many of you know, I'm sure, that Netflix is coming to Fort Monmouth, and I just drove through there the other day, and there is construction going on, or demolition at this point, but it's really going to happen.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
And even some of the first plazas are up on an Oceanport over there, and where you see people that are taking retail locations now.
Right. So there's a lot going on at Fort Monmouth now between the Riverwalk, which I think is what you were just referring to. There's other standalone places, sports bars, event centers that have been established there at Fort Monmouth, and Netflix, of course, will be the big
anchor
player. But my idea is to work with the Fort Monmouth Economic Revitalization Authority and their sort of informal chamber of commerce for all of those new businesses that are now on Fort Monmouth, and talk to them in respect to Fort Monmouth is our heritage. We were formed on Fort Monmouth almost 60 years ago now.
That's great.
And wouldn't it be great if we could revitalize that connection to the physical Fort Monmouth property through and have that group of companies, including Netflix, sort of adopt us as one of their favorite sons.
Shout out to Netflix. Adopt the guy. I think that would be a great initiative coming into town and being part of the community. But I think that you're going to do very well. I think that this build out of Fort Monmouth is going to have a lot of benefit for you and other businesses and other organizations. I think having that kind of infrastructure come in, I just don't know what's going to happen to all the roads and all the traffic that we already have.
If you believe what Netflix is saying, they're really a 24/7 operation. They're not a 9 to 5 operation where there's going to be a big influx of people during rush hour. It's things happen there throughout the day and night. So maybe the impact won't be.
He's still looking for that donation from Netflix, so he's drinking the Kool-Aid right now. But that's great. So I think it's awesome what you're doing, and like, how do you want what's the in the ideal, you want some community partners, you want some people that come to the events. What can people do to make an impact to your organization? So like, again, we don't normally throw out asks, but in this case, I really love what you're doing. I'm so glad that Jeremy had connected us. So I want you to just throw out like how you can be helped. Of course, monetary donations, but what are other ways that people could get involved and help your organization?
Sure, but I do. Before I forget, I do want to give another shout out to Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy,
because C3 is holding one of their quarterly events at the Baseline Social. On Fort Monmouth.
Coming up in the next couple weeks.
On June 17th.
Yep.
And he's graciously agreed to have AUSA as the recipient of any of the donations they received that evening. So how good is that?
The guy is top
For
notch.
our service dog
Yep.
program.
Oh, awesome! So
Yeah.
that 15,000 is going to close in on. You're going to close in on that, Jeremy. We need 10,000 at that event.
So what do we need? So again, we're a 100% volunteer organization, so we need volunteers. And my board, a lot of us, well, we're all getting older, but a lot of us are getting up there in years. I mean, I don't care. I admit I'm 72.
You don't look a day over 48.
But in any event, we need the next generation of volunteers.
Do you have some younger guys in the organization?
We do. I mentioned Kit before. Kit will be retiring from her role as vice president for programs this summer after many years. And so one of my needs is to replace her. So reaching out throughout the community, our community, to see who I can come up with to replace. And those are big shoes to fill. But in addition to Kit, who looks out over all of our programs, you spoke, do we have any younger folks? Well, Megan Solomon and Sue Davila are the co-chairs of our gingerbread ball. That's no small undertaking. That's a whole year of planning. To make that happen. And Megan is great. She's doing that in addition to being our vice president for community partnerships. So anyone's interested in being a community partner, she's the one who will work with you. And she's been great for us. And we have others. But need to continue to refresh, and would love to get more people, let's say in their 20s and 30s, involved. One of the things that is dormant right now, I must admit, is our young professionals group, which is, generally, we don't want to set an age limit, but it's generally for people under 40 years old. But anyway, I don't have anybody to run that right now.
The crazy thing is, I always thought I was a young professional until I realized I'm no longer a young professional.
But anyway, so that's another specific need. We're looking for someone to take on that role and run our. But in general, of course, sponsors are always welcome. But community partners are a way of really getting into the fabric of the organization and really becoming part of our organization. And, attending and just supporting and volunteering to help us in the planning and execution. And then the last thing is, on the other hand, we're always looking for ideas. So if you have ideas about how an organization like mine could support soldiers or veterans of any service or family members in a unique way, some hole that you think could be filled, let us know.
You're open to it.
We're open to it. We are.
This was great. This was a great conversation. I'm inspired by you. Let people know where they can find you online.
Yeah, so our website is www.ausa.org/Monmouth. And on Facebook, you can find us, AUSA Monmouth Chapter.
Nice.
Or you can get to me directly through email at ECT, that's Echo Charlie Tango in military speak, ECT0203@gmail.com. Anytime.
All right. Well, Ed, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for sharing more. And this is great. And, normally this is a 2 to 3 week turnaround, but because of the event on June 12th, Andrew's going to have this up for us at the beginning of the week so that, that people could hear it ahead of that, and hopefully you get a little bit of support from that.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you again for coming in.